And that's discipline in itself, being able, because
It
you're
is.
gonna, that desire is gonna pop up,
Definitely is.
and that need is gonna pop up, and that's, and yes, you gotta learn to have some emotional intelligence and control over that.
Hmm. For sure. Yeah, self-control is key.
I think that's I think that's another thing. If like lack of self control is can be a bad mindset, and that's why it's important to have self control, and you kind of, I guess, I find, like, again, I'm going to say it again, it's all through experiences and stuff, and you kind of know when you're being losing control and stuff, and you got to be able to, like, put yourself in check next time when you are, you know what I'm saying.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, discipline and self-control are like two staples, I think, for being really like a masculine man, and knowing that you're not really a slave to your desires. You're learning from your desires, you're learning from your emotions, but you're not completely a slave to them. Because I think that's
Hmm.
when you get into trouble, is when you're overly horny, overly sad, overly angry,
Hmm.
whatever it might be, and you let that take control and you let that lead you. Because that's when they say you're thinking with your your wrong head. That's what people mean. Is you're thinking with your other
Right.
head, you're letting that lead and being like, all right, well, I'm just really horny right now, and that ends up clouding your judgment and clouding your intentions even sometimes. So it's important to just make that distinction and know when that's happening. Because again,
Hmm.
awareness on its own is gonna save you. Because at least as long as you know that that's happening, you can then pull the trigger back and say, all right, I'm gonna slow down for a second. I
Right.
know this is coming from a bad place, um, and just kind of ground yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, that's something I've been, and good for on the subject here, because this is something I've been kind of working on more recently. Is like we are talking about awareness and stuff, and I'm kind of like, you know, kind of trying to become more aware, like, of some of the, sometimes I can be too hard on myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I do something, I sometimes think it's like the end all, or like this is like or maybe I'm like, oh, I feel stupid because I said this or said that, and I realized, like, can be bad, being hard on yourself. And so I'm working on becoming more aware of that, and realizing, you just accept the situation for what it is, and not to get too down when shit happens, and just to realize it's a part of life, it's a learning experience, and not, just because you made a mistake, and it's not gonna, like, be the end of the world. You're not gonna be punished. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I get hard on myself too a lot of times, and I think a lot of dudes have that same issue. But it's also remembering that you're chasing progress, not perfection, and
Hmm.
nobody's perfect. There's never a situation where you're going to do 100% things right all the time. Like I still fuck up certain things. I'm
Hmm.
sure you do as well. Like nobody's going to be 10 for 10 all the time, like 100%.
Right.
It's just not realistic. So
Exactly.